Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Gonna start in just a couple minutes here, folks. Let's rewind that back a little bit. One more time. All right, folks. It's 10 o'clock p.m. Y'all know what time is it? It's the Midnight Run, and it's me. It's me that's at VINCE. Hope you folks have been doing really well. It's Friday. The weekend is coming up. Hope you guys are ready for it. And I'm going to escort you into Saturday, folks. So first off, before we begin, tell me what you are drinking and smoking out there. And Pugman, I definitely appreciate you getting the donation started out. I definitely do appreciate that there. And folks, we're going to have a lot of fun the next 2 hours. Like I said, this is the Midnight Run. Feel free to ask me any questions that you wish to ask me. You do not have to pay for it, okay? This is not Vegan Gains' channel, all right? Let me stress that to you again if you have a question. Now, of course, with all the people here, it may take me a while to get to your question, but at least you ain't got to goddamn pay for it. You know what I'm saying? Just keeping it real and telling it to you like it is here, you know? So tell me, folks, what are you drinking and smoking out there? Let's see what we got here. I'm always the same person, Psycho. Just always the same person. So what we got here? I don't see nobody up here. Y'all just drinking water tonight? Yes, Vegan Gains is my cousin. Pugman, I'm going to have to give you an extra. I'm going to have to put a seat to the side to put you on the show too, you know, so. All right, Jamie, you keep drinking that. Folks, I'm not going to, if YouTube flags you, I'm not going to unflag you there because I got in trouble last time, so. All right, 2 a year cigar. Okay, you got it popping at least there. French red wine. Smoking a Reggie Miller. Okay. We don't smoke meat. We smoke tobacco. Okay. Black coffee. You trying to stay awake, Truth One? No. Okay. Got beer this weekend. Let's see. Blue Dream. I'm not familiar with that, but if it's good, it's good. Steinlager. Oh, yeah. Good German stuff here. So, all right. I'm going to tell y'all guys what I got tonight. Nothing too fancy there. Been a really slow month there. Not much coming in lately, although did have some stuff come in today. So we got one of our budget factory smoked cigars. Like I said, I've always recommended this cigar for those who are trying to cut back, save a little money, but they still want to have a nice cigar. This is good. Today I have some Jean-Luc Picard Tea Earl Grey. Gonna do it Star Trek style, Next Generation, you know. Patrick Stewart, you know, everybody knows Patrick Stewart's the coolest person. I mean, what other 82-year-old person can get up with a 43-year-old, a person half his age? Just, you know what I'm saying? So, and finally, of course, we got water and some brandy. The symbol of French brandy. Good stuff here. Yeah, he does have some problems here. And you know what? I got problems too. And I'm about to take care of it right now. Because it's light up time, baby. It's light up time. So, time for the blue flame, people. And then we're going to start answering questions. Pugman, the brandy that I have is about a it's 80 proof, so you don't want to drink too much of it. So believe me, this is more than enough. And if it isn't, I can just simply go and I got the bottle right next to me, so I'm all good. You've been up since 5 a.m. Man, that's a long time there. Psycho, Cuban cigars are overrated. You know, they're overrated. I mean, you have Cuban seed tobacco in Nicaragua. I've had Cuban cigars. The only thing that makes them cost so much is because they're considered somewhat illegal, but you can easily get Cuban cigars, but they're overrated at this point because now we have Cuban seed tobacco. Bugman, appreciate again with the donation and your question. What would happen if you lift heavy, like 3 to 5 pound rep range? Well, I mean, if I started lifting really heavy, then hang tight with me just a minute here. Ugh. All right, guys, can y'all see me? See, I have a backup camera now, so probably no more blue flame, so. Sorry about that. I hope I didn't scare you guys here, so. Somehow I knew that this camera would freeze up, so I actually had an extra camera in the back just to make absolutely sure, so. This one will work this time, so I'm gonna. It's time. I think it's time I retired the other camera because I think this is the third week that we've had problems here. So, like I said, if you have girl problems, I feel bad for your son. I got 99 problems, and the bitch is no longer one. So let's throw that out anyway. So I'm going to catch up on questions. Also, I'm going to hook up the light too as well because this camera does not come with lighting or anything like that. So, all right. Yeah, that ain't gonna work there, so we'll just turn that right off here. There we go. Much better. All right, Pugman, I do want to thank you for the donation again. Sorry about that. It's got to be something every single freaking week there, so. Yeah, I think it is Billy Gunn's possibly seeking revenge or so. No. See, I took care of the lighting there, man. I took care of the lighting. I got everything covered this time, so. Well, Scatman, this is the backup camera, actually. I had that planned just in case I had some other problems so I wouldn't be down for that long, so. Hey, Brian, I've actually cooked steaks in the fireplace. You know, 100 years ago, that's how you used to cook food, is in a fireplace, so. I mean, maybe your father didn't do it or your granddaddy, but definitely your great-granddaddy. Well, ring lights are pretty cheap there, and as you can tell, without the light, I was looking a lot more darker, so. Can you tell the difference between grain and grass-fed beef? Yes, you can, and it has to do with the actual flavor of it. You can definitely tell if something is grass-fed or grain-fed. There, you can definitely taste it there if you have that particular those senses there, you can definitely taste it there. But it also has to deal with your scent glands as well. But you know, I can always tell the difference between grass-fed and grain-fed beef. Raw, I didn't see your question. You'll have to repeat it for me there. So either that or let me scroll back up here and see what you were talking about. Oh, the one that was blanked out by YouTube. Like I said, I don't get into Big Lenny's business as far as to who he's screwing around with there. So he can do what he wants to do, basically. Have I ever posted a full cooking video? Yes, there's about I've done about 10 different cooking videos on my channel there. One of these days I'll get things organized to where they're all together. Thanksgiving, I'm going to be spending it with my mom there. We're going to actually have baked chicken there. Not much food, really, so it's all about hanging with family, and that's what's important. No, I'm not bringing a boy toy because I'm not dating anyone. Bubba, that's not always true as far as marble or anything like that, as far as high-fat content. It's a little bit more complex than that. You can have marbled beef with grass or grain. It's all about their overall nutrition. Chris Dorner, I'm still thinking that one over. That one's rolling in my head there, essentially. I know who you're talking about. Some people, I just don't have I don't have a particular insight on them there, just as of yet. Probably if you ask me about a week or two, I can give you some thoughts on that. Psycho, protein powder isn't something that's going to make you grow. In order to grow, you need to have a high caloric intake. You have to have one higher than your maintenance in order to actually put on weight there, in other words. As far as that, you got to have as far as building muscle is concerned, it's really all about calories and water, and that's pretty much the inside of it. There's good supplements out there like creatine, but all the protein powder and supplements ain't gonna do you any good unless you got some calories in. So worry about your calories first, and then maybe throw in a couple supplements. Yes, I was a competitive bodybuilder at one time. Like I said, I did as best as I could on stage, but I just don't exactly have the great genetics. One of the biggest things that'll doom you in bodybuilding is if you have a short torso and long extremities here. But I made money from it. I've met a lot of people if I wasn't in the bodybuilding industry or so forth. So, yes, I was a competitive bodybuilder, but wasn't a very good one. So, but it is what it is. In order to have someone taking first place, you got to have someone that also loses the show. So that was me. My favorite Thanksgiving food is actually ham, actually. I wasn't never big on turkey. Probably because, I ate it as dietary food whenever I was competing. So, but I've never been big on turkey. I'm more or less a ham type person. Andy, keep it clean. Protein and creatine can get huge, but if you're not getting in enough calories, it won't do any good. How many boxing rounds would it take me to KO vegan gains? You've not been on my channel much. Fighting doesn't solve any problems here. I would rather help vegan gains than to try to KO him. A medieval bard around? No. I don't think so. Remember, that's England, and 1,000 years ago, my ancestors was doing some other things. They was in Africa. So no medieval bard or anything. As far as Gymshark is concerned, look, when I go to the gym, Batman, I wear old clothes there. I've never found any reason to go out and purchase, spend a lot of money on clothing just to work out, unless you're trying to show off the people and stuff there. I mean, if you got the coin for it, that's perfectly fine. The key to working out as far as clothing is concerned is just being comfortable. If you're comfortable, you're perfectly fine. But overall, as far as the brand is concerned, I don't have any real problems with it. It's just a personal philosophy of mine. Who is the biggest name I ever competed with? Nobody. I never turned pro. I competed at regional shows. So, no one major. Oh, yes. I've watched Outlaw Star. Yeah, Gene Starr is the man there. So, the Qatar. Yeah, that was one crazy bitch. But yeah, I've seen Outlaw Star. It's a good show. Lenny cut his live short. Okay. Well, he does a live every day, and I only do one once a week there. So, maybe he might want to hang out with him. I went into his live stream the other day. So. Yes, Truth One. You have to have a good long torso, short muscle structures, and everything like that. That's good genetics for bodybuilding. So you're exactly correct. The wide clavicles and the long torso. That was my issue. I have a short torso and longer arms, so it would it didn't it doesn't fare well for me. Well, yes, you're right. Sometimes no one shows up and wins. And you see this trophy? I took second place because there was only two people competing. So, but good boy. Man, that sounds like a lot of food, but I don't know how much you weigh, Psycho. So, just weigh yourself, times it by 10, and that's your maintenance calories. And then, so let's say you weigh 200 pounds, you multiply that by 10, then you have 2,000, and then that's your maintenance calories, and then you'll add maybe an extra 200 calories, so you would need to get 2,200 calories a day. That's how I measure as far as gaining weight is concerned. And then you go backwards whenever you're losing weight. Did I at least get third place when competing? So here are all my placings I've ever gotten. 2004 NPC Matrolina, 8th place, junior heavyweight, junior middleweight. 2006 NPC Mountaineer, 2nd place, junior heavyweight. 2009 NGA Night of Champions, no placing out of the top 5, and that's the extent of my bodybuilding. But no third places, so. I am 5'11", Jake. Raw, I've considered tattoos. My ex has a whole bunch of tattoos, but I've just never gotten around to it. Maybe one day. But yeah, I've considered. I have no tattoos, but I'll probably eventually get some. As far as Ben Shapiro is concerned, I do appreciate someone that exercises the First Amendment. With that being said, there's a lot of things I disagree with as far as Ben Shapiro is concerned. But hey, it's a free country. There's things that people disagree with me around here, and that's perfectly fine. Is Lindsey Graham closeted? Probably. Have you ever heard anyone say, "Man, did you see how Lindsey Graham was fucking that bitch?" No, never. Lindsey Graham is an embarrassment to South Carolina. I mean, he goes and he licks the crack of Donald Trump's ass. You know what I mean? So, he's walking upright and has no skeleton, essentially. If you're 5'10" and 150 pounds, I'm surprised you don't have a 6-pack there. You probably need to put on some more weight there. Lou Ferrigno was a better bodybuilder. The problem is that Ferrigno didn't know how to pose, and Arnold Schwarzenegger knew how to pose. You see, winning a bodybuilding show is more than looking the biggest there. Take it Paul Dillett, for example, or, biggest guy on stage and everything, jacked all to pieces, but he didn't know how to pose, Part of a bodybuilding show is showing your body in the right light. That's why Ferrigno didn't win, is because he didn't know how to pose correctly. He couldn't outpose Arnold, so... He did, Scatman? He must have had an emergency or something. I would have beaten Jason and Lenny in a bodybuilding show. Even though I didn't place in the NGA Night of Champions, that was a pro qualifier, in other words. So I was at least still competing with the best there, to be honest with you. No, I probably wouldn't have been able to beat Dale. Dale's probably pretty good there at competing, so I wouldn't have been able to beat Dale. I definitely would have beaten Jason and Lenny, especially my conditioning in 2009. That I would have kick their asses easy. One thing about my shows, they were legit. In other words, they weren't these piddle farts or anything. I was competing in my last show was a pro qualifier, meaning you went for your pro card. In other words, if I won the show. Yeah, I do have a get big Sandow, I guess. Serratus, I didn't make myself famous there. You know, I just posted up there for many years. If people somehow like my content, what can you say? Now I translate it over to, you know, social media. Yep, I'm the only amateur to guest pose at the Mr. Olympia too, so yeah. I miss ALR Industries here. Great company. Well, Raw, my mom doesn't get on the internet. She doesn't get on the internet, has no Facebook or anything, you know. Doesn't drive or anything. Doesn't like technology too much other than watching her westerns. You know, as long as she can flip on the TV set and, you know, watch John Wayne and Gunsmoke, it's perfectly fine with her, so. But no, I tried to get her on the internet at one time, but it was just a losing battle. I am not going to be streaming I'm not going to try to break any world record for streaming. I think the world record is like 5 or 6 days or something. So, somewhere in that range to where someone streamed that late there. Almost killed himself too. What would I say to Andrew Tate in person? I would say, hey, how's it going there? You know, I mean, regardless as to what people think, I mean, he was a very respectable champion kickboxer, you know, so I got no problems with Andrew Tate there, you know. The problem is that too many, in my opinion, even though he says a lot of things that rile people up and things that I don't agree with, he's his own man. He tells it like it is from his point of view, essentially. People are so afraid of the First Amendment these days that they just back down, I guess. So, what are my thoughts? Trump can run. I don't think Trump is going to is going to be the candidate for the 2024 presidency. I don't think Joe Biden is neither. I think for some reason or other, Kamala Harris is going to be the candidate for 2024. Just my thought. As far as to who I'm voting for, that's way off into the distance. I couldn't even tell you that. I mean, to be honest with you, no one is even announcing this early, you know. Other than Trump, so. All right, Pugman, definitely appreciate the donation. So you're going to be voting for Trump there? Pugman, my advice is just to wait and see who's actually going to be running. Just because someone announces a candidacy, because it's so early, we have no idea. We haven't even decided on the last Senate race there. They're still counting. All right, guys still there? Let's see. Yes, Jay Masters needs to get down to 205 there in order to be healthy. He needs to probably go a little lower than that, but I don't think it's within him. If he was at 205 pounds, I think he's the type of person that's trying to hold on to the size there, and you simply can't do that. Charles Glass has a really good training philosophy. He was a great IFBB pro as well. I've always respected Charles Glass. He has a tight philosophy. It's about the same as Robbie Robinson, to be honest with you. Well, one thing Genova has is that vacuum pose here. So I can't. I mean, I can do a vacuum pose, but I can't do it the way Genova can do it. I mean, he could just throw it out of nowhere, and me, I gotta actually be thinking about it there. A vacuum pose is a very hard pose to do on stage, but he can just whip it out of nowhere. So I'll give Genova that. You know. Speaking of which, I need to see how he's doing anyway. I hadn't spoke to him in about a couple weeks. This is the one thing about these budget cigars here. It's a Cuban sandwich. This is an awesome smoke, folks. It's just that because it's made of short filler, it's just going to be breaking up all over the place. You see, Scatman, that's what I tried to tell Big Lenny there. You know, he has to control his impulses on things such as this here. I certainly hope he doesn't get the money to go buy some Molly there. That would be very bad. Come on, TC. Dale isn't short and fat there. He's good people's here. Raw for creatine, that's a very bad deal, actually. Go to True Protein or True Nutrition to get your creatine. You'll get a much better deal. But $30 for 90 servings, that's too much to pay for creatine. Pugman, it's a factory smoke. This is a budget smoke. It's a very cheap cigar, so the name implies as far as factory smoke is concerned, it kicks out a whole lot of smoke. But it's going to break apart. It's going to look ugly. Sean Ray or Lee Priest? Sean Ray, because Lee Priest hates my guts here. If I was wanting to know who was the better bodybuilder or who I got along with, I get along more with Sean Ray than Lee Priest. No, my mom definitely isn't like Precious. She was a weightlifter back in the late 70s and 80s, actually. Whenever I was a kid, she would take me to the gym while she was lifting weights, actually. She still is in good shape there for, being up in age and everything. But definitely no, not Precious. I come from a family of weightlifters, by the way, Of course, I'm the first bodybuilder out of that stage there, so. This cigar is not gonna get that much flame there, Pugman. It's just gonna smoke and smolder a lot. It's not an expensive cigar or anything. That's the thing with cheap cigars. Because they're short filler, they're not going to be. It's just going to mostly be ash there. In other words, But probably next time there. So, no, Fernandez. There's nothing I can do about this cigar. Nothing. Yes, my mom. For some reason or another, my this thing keeps resetting here. I'm not sure why. Yes, Vegan Gains did get owned in that debate there. Better clean up the cigar a little bit. So we're gonna do a relight, folks. But yeah, lately Richard Vegan Gains he's been doing pretty bad in his debates. He's distracted or something. I don't watch any arm wrestling there, Deedle. I never really got into it there. The only time I've watched arm wrestling is if I was at the Arnold Expo and I was walking around. I'd rather see something like that live there. If it's live, it's fine. But other than that, arm wrestling isn't something I would exactly watch on TV. Well, my finishing move when I was a professional wrestler, Austin, was the Cobra Crosslock, actually. Uh, but it wasn't one that I used too often because I never really used because I was a jobber. That's why I didn't stay into professional wrestling. I spent a very short time being a professional wrestler because I sucked at it. But my finishing move was the Cobra Crosslock, which, given the name Venom Vince Versace, it only makes sense. So, no, Blaha definitely isn't the reverse bench press world record holder, but it reminds me of the Barbarian Brothers. Now, those guys, if there was going to be a world record holder for reverse bench press, it would probably be either one of the Barbarian Brothers. Because man, they can. I think I've seen them do like 400-pound reverse bench presses one time. Those were some strong boys. Hey Athens, what's up, man? Yes, Pugman. There's something going on to where the stream is disconnecting and reconnecting on YouTube. There, it's kind of weird. Even my systems are getting reset for some odd reason. What's a good way to decompress your whole back in one movement? I would say just laying down. Not a firm believer in a particular exercise or anything like that. You train your back, And once you're done with your back, you sit back and rest on the couch. Either that, usually after I train, I'll go and sit in the hot tub for a bit, and then I'll go into the sauna. And then I may get a massage or so. But the best back workout is always going to be a pull-up. Yes, this cigar is going to burn up quick because it's a cheap cigar, Pug Man. Like I said, this month I've been kind of short on money, but with your donations, of course, I'll guarantee I'll bring a nice cigar next time there. But, and you know, it's been a crack up month there, to be honest with you. Not been really a good month for me. But, you know, again, I'm paying a lot of employees. I'm doing a couple of new things there, so it's just going to take time. I think Charles Glass smokes weed there. I'm pretty sure of it. I know Robbie Robinson does. Oh, there's old retired. What's up, man? You fell asleep there? Well, folks, just guys to let you know, I am going to be doing probably a new show, probably for about an hour on Wednesday, but I just hadn't quite figured it out. Because I do need to do more than just one live stream. That way no one misses out on things. Oh, folks, let me give you a warning. It may cut out for maybe a couple of seconds or so forth, but just hang in there, okay? Not sure what's going on. It seems always to be something with YouTube for some odd reason. I don't know why. Now, y'all can at least hear me fine, right? Well, as far as Dexter is concerned, Dexter Jackson is a better bodybuilder than Sean Ray. Just think of all the titles that he's won, and of course he has a Mr. Olympia under his belt as well. And Richard definitely isn't slim. Someone actually leaked out his pictures, and he's gained a little bit of weight, just to say the least. But I'm no J.J. Evans neither. I got a little bit of safety fat myself there, so. But it's coming down all nice and good, so. All right, let me read a couple comments here. Let's see. See here. All right, TC, you have a good night there. Half bottle of vodka, Diet Cola, and can of Dragons. Okay. It's a lot of stuff there. You'll definitely want to take it easy on that there, that's for sure. Especially having an energy drink with alcohol. Kaizen, it's a combination of both, along with stress of income, in other words. Like I said, you guys have always heard me, and I've even told Richard that he makes way more money than I do. But he has a lot more money going out the other way as well. He has a wife to take care of. He has his kids. He has his apartment that he has to pay for. He has the bicycles. He also is paying for a horse as well, from what I'm understanding. He's trying to pay all that there. That's why he does all those long live streams. I'm never going to put myself in a position like that there. I'll just cut back. Raw, I shave my head once a week. Well, Blaha's been going at it for years, so yeah, he does have some strong lifts. I would hope he does after all this training, so. But his reverse bench press claims are just ridiculous, you know. He definitely doesn't have the record there if he actually said that. He dreams. He dreams. I've seen Jimmy the Bull train before. I've also seen him. He did this arm curl contest one time. And I think he won that arm curl contest, and I think he did like 50 or 60 of them. Jimmy the Bull's one strong motherfucker. Anthony Clark was a really strong power lifter. Decompression chairs. See, you don't need decompression chairs, Raw. You just need to lay back and relax. Get a good night's sleep. If your back is feeling like that, then go get a massage. If you can't afford one, then go into the mall and get one of those chair massages. They work wonders. But don't fall for these things like decompression chairs. I mean, Arnold never needed it. Zane never needed it. None of the Golden Age bodybuilders ever needed it. So you got to be really careful about these gimmicks. Who's they? Are you talking about YouTube? YouTube is going to be YouTube. I've told you guys a bunch of times there. That's why I have a website for. So that way I can if I have some content that I need to put out that I know I can't do on YouTube, I'm going to put it on my website. That's why I tell people to check in at vincegoodrum.com for any if I tell you guys I'm going to have like a video that I can't post up here. Yes, Pugman, cats do eat rabbits here. And believe me, they are fully capable of eating rabbits. And I'm thinking that you're probably thinking of Vegan Gains' cat, Perismo. If Richard is not careful, Perismo will eat that rabbit. Well, Jay may be sober there. It may be because of any type of medication that he's taken, but I would doubt it. Well, Pugman, I have a toboggan. So whenever I go out there, I have my head covered as well as some earmuffs. I only have one birthmark, and it's on my tummy. Do I follow Alan Roberts? No, I don't follow him at all. cheap wine and cheap vodka. Not a good idea. If you need something cheap, you can drink what I'm drinking, which is Symbol French brandy. You know, you can get it for like $14 for a bottle. Really good stuff there. It's just like the cigar. It may not look good and it'll kill a hack or two, but it's still a good cigar. You know, or the hacks used to die. Guys, and I am fully aware that, well, Blaha is in the same position as I am as far as bodybuilding is concerned. He just doesn't have the genetics there for it. You know, you can train all you want as far as being a bodybuilder and dieting, but at the end of the day, you have to have genetics. So that's probably why he took up powerlifting. So I don't really consider Blaha as a failed bodybuilder. He just wasn't genetically gifted to succeed in bodybuilding, just like myself there. And you always have in life, you always have to know your limitations here. And I'm not going to lie to you, I was a horrible bodybuilder, and I sucked as a professional wrestler. These are things that you just simply have to get used to, and you have to live life there. Whatever you're not good at in life, you need to find something that you're good at there. Now, while I wasn't a great bodybuilder, I did a lot. I can write a lot of good bodybuilding articles, set up websites, you know, and of course sell anabolic steroids. So there are parts of bodybuilding that I'm good at, just not the competing part. It's always important to find what you're good at there, you know, and don't stop trying until you do, you know. Because you can be, the thing about it is you can be in the bodybuilding industry, but you don't have to be a bodybuilder, you know. And that's the same position that I am. Even though I'm not a accomplished bodybuilder or so forth, I still love the sport of bodybuilding, and I've stayed in it there by doing things that I am talented in doing there, you know, which is writing articles, doing commentary, research, and of course doing these live streams as well, as far as answering questions about training. That's all you can do in life there. And if anyone has a problem with it, well, screw them, you know. Ronnie Coleman isn't full of spikes. He just had a bunch of bad surgeries, surgical procedures. Those surgeons really messed him up there, you know. He should have quit when he was ahead with the surgeons here. But they've really messed him up pretty bad. Is it not okay to get drunk once a week there? I mean, it's perfectly fine to get buzzed, but you want to do everything in moderation. And most importantly, you don't want to drink and drive. Yeah, Blaha's insulted a lot of people there, and that's actually a shame. I don't know why. But you see what's happening. It's coming back on him there, so. Why am I called the Great One? I think it's because I'm bald and I'm big, and there was a video I made on Big Rob Fitness, and then it just stuck, so. Oh well. It's just a catchphrase there. Part of running a YouTube channel is you got to have a little bit of flavor. You got to have, you know, you got to have things that people identify you with there. It's like whenever I say, "What's going on, everybody?" Whenever you hear that, you know it's a video that's made by me. You can't copy it or anything like that. So Raw, I use lotion on all of my body there. And the reason being is because it's because because you're working out and you're showering a bunch, your skin's going to get dry. But my hands are dry because I have a cigar on me. That's why. Oh yes, I've eaten plenty of goat there. I got a couple Jamaican friends. Whenever I come over, they're usually making some sort of goat stew. So honey Jim Bean is fine there. If I'm at a party, usually that's around. I like it there. It's Jim Bean is not exactly one of my favorite drinks or anything like that, but given that you don't want to, if you're having a big party and everything like that, you don't want to put out expensive hooch. But I'll drink honey Jim Bean if that's the only thing that's there. Well, the closest thing to brandy is cognac. Cognac is a refined version there. Brandy is more or less like a lighter version. But but cognac is the older brother of brandy. Yeah, I'll be on After Hours one of these days with Palumbo. One of the issues is that John Romano is also up there, so it can get pretty nasty between us. We've been at each other's throats for almost 20 years, so. At least that's what I think. All right, let's read some more comments here. Bodybuilding doesn't ruin your health, Pugman, and thanks again for the donation. Bodybuilding doesn't ruin your health. What ruins it is, if you continue to take not just anabolic steroids, but if you're just swallowing every supplement that just basically comes out there. It's more or less not just too much of a good thing, but just trying too many things at one time. Trying to lift too heavy. So there's a lot of things that can ruin your health, but those are acts, not the actual sport of bodybuilding itself. Bodybuilding as a whole cannot ruin you. It's the activities that you do for bodybuilding that could possibly ruin your health. The best thing to build bone density is calcium. And I always like taking glucosamine. Uh, but the best thing for building bone density is always going to be calcium. Anavar and no. We not those here. You want strong bones, calcium. That's why they have those milk commercials, or at least they used to. You should smoke cigars instead of cigarettes. Cigarettes have way too many chemicals floating around in them. I've noticed there, and yeah, Blaha reminds me of Mr. Magoo. Actually, just an odd person. Well, John Romano can't be a homosexual because he has a kid, so he would have had to have screwed a woman. Lulumon, uh, uh, never say that name up here again. That's like saying Durian Rider. I hate Lulumon. Horrible. I mean, it's a silly company there. It's one of those liberal companies. Ugh. Romano didn't go to jail. He went to prison, and Romano didn't go to prison for steroids. He went to prison for selling fake coins to elderly people. And that's what Anthony Roberts had told me. Some sort of collectible coin scam, but he never went to he never went to jail or prison for selling steroids, from what I know. Jake, when you say the word Hennessy, you know, there's always commercials and stuff like that, and Hennessy's all right, but there's a lot of things a lot better than Hennessy. The best stuff is going to be things that you're not going to see on TV because it speaks for itself. It doesn't need a commercial or coupons or anything like that. And I'll give you an example. There used to be a club back in the 20s called the Stork Club. It used to be the Cotton Club, actually, that was purchased out. All the celebrities went to the Stork Club. You know, it didn't advertise or anything like that. People knew that the Stork Club was going downhill whenever they actually started taking ads out, like for a hamburger and fries for like 49 cents and stuff like that. The sign of a failing business of some type is usually whenever they have to have a coupon or commercials in order to sell it there, you know. And you can pretty much see it that way, but a little bit of back history there. Stork Club didn't really allow blacks in there as well. Of course, Josephine Baker had a much better luck thanks to old Lady Bird, so... Batman, I'm not a fashion guy. I'm a minimalist here. And because I'm gay, I just know how to dress myself pretty well. So, yeah, I guess you can say that. Although some of the Silver Era guys, they used a lot of cocaine and other drugs. I mean, you have to think, you see all those old strongman pictures of them being ripped. Remember, cocaine was legal back in the late 1800s, early 1900s. And that's what they used in order to lift so heavy. So don't buy all this natural stuff. There's never been a time really in history, even the days of Greek times of Milos there, that where there wasn't something that was not being taken there. They even had they had drugs back in those strongman days. It just wasn't steroids. It was just cocaine. Cocaine, opium, all other sorts of stuff. Because opium pretty much was legal. You can smoke it around like cigarettes. That's one thing I hate. I hate it when these people show these old strongman people saying from the 1800s here. Just because steroids wasn't around doesn't mean that they weren't taking anything. So, well, Psycho, that's going to be up to Dave there as far as doing an after hours show. I'll probably be up there one day. What's my beef with John Romano? I would actually have to do an extra live stream. It actually stems from Get Big, actually. Because a lot, Get Big was really ruthless with John Romano, but what really brought it ahead was when he blamed me for hacking his Get Big account because he was talking shit about Palumbo and then tried to blame it on me. Well, Athens, for the most part, a liver is very resilient there. So, I mean, even in a damaged state, it can still work, though, you know. How's my cousin Richard? He's not doing very well. He definitely is not doing well. He's working too much. He's stressed. He's on those depression pills, and stuff. It's his wife's yelling at him, and not doing well. And I mean, in his debates there, he's been trying to get away with this name the trait, but I think at his last debate that I saw, they didn't fall for it. They just they just told him to go screw himself for the most part. No, I didn't see the kid that made the Big Lenny presentation. I've known Rob Harris for 20 some years. No, I would not date him. We've had times where we've not gotten along with each other, but no, I wouldn't date Ron Harris. That's the thing about these cigars here. They go out pretty quickly. That's a Cuban sandwich for you. Well, Ron Harris is generally lean, but he takes TRT, so it's pretty easy when you're getting all your stuff there. Exactly. You nailed it right on the head, Antonio. They're eating a lot of junk food there, which is why, Jasmine and Vegan Gains have gained so much weight. It's possible that Blaha is on gear. I would just wonder if he was. I mean, I'm not sure who would be out of their right mind to sell him that there, or borrow it. Yes, I watch that. New episode comes out every week on Hulu, but I prefer actually watching Spy Family on. Oh boy, what's the name of that there? See, this is why this is good brandy. So. Can't even think of the name yet, but yeah, you can a new episode comes out every week on Hulu for Spy Family. Well, truth one, I just did last week a tour of my house there, and I did show people my shoe collection. So you can check that out, but I have general purpose shoes for shoes for different occasions. I don't keep any shoes that I don't wear. If I don't wear them, they're going to be donated. So Austin, definitely appreciate your donation. Best bang for your buck cigars. Well, as you can see, I'm smoking a I'm smoking a factory smoke, but the best bang for the buck would actually be the new Cuba cigars. Uh, I've tried those out. They're really good cigars. Uh, they are Cuban sandwiches there, but a Cuban sandwich, as long as it's made from short filler from premium cigars, you're perfectly fine. And the factory smoke is Indonesian tobacco. But the best bang for the buck right now actually is the new Cuba cigars. Who is my favorite Marvel DC superhero? Uh, I would honestly say Batman. Big fan of Batman. No superpowers, but he can still kick everyone's ass. I see him as a superhero that has things in it to where it's achievable. In other words, it's not realistic for someone to be a Superman, but it's more realistic for someone to be Batman. That's another reason why Batman is so famous and why everyone likes him is because he doesn't have any superpowers, so people can put themselves in his place more than a regular superhero. Those old-time strongmen, yeah, they train with strands and kettlebells and cocaine and opium, if you can't feel pain, you can train, so. As far as Genova, comparing Genova and Richard's physique, I think Genova edges him out physique-wise there, as well as strength-wise. Vegan Gains definitely is not stronger than Genova. Genova's a pretty strong kid. He's a strong kid there. That I'll also give him there, as well as being able to do the vacuum pose. Well, again, Kaizen, it plays in the genetics there as well. But again, if you're training on cocaine and you're training on opium, like I said, all that stuff was legal back then. So you can literally use anything that you want there in order to lift, then yeah. But, there's always going to be there's going to be genetics element to it there. Now, let's be nice, folks, about Jasmine here, okay? Psycho Ron Harris has a kid. He's been married for almost like 20 some years. I caught parts of that there, Batman. That's why I said earlier. That's why I said earlier that he's not been doing very well on his debates here, and that's kind of troublesome. He's just been off on all of his debates here. He got in a debate. He tried to debate with King Dre when he's not someone that debates and got hung up for. No, Athens, Richard isn't gay. My favorite McDonald's order is probably the sausage, egg, and cheese McMuffin, but again, I rarely eat at McDonald's there. It's probably been last year since I've eaten there. There's a lot better food than McDonald's. Well, Raw, that plays as far as Jared is concerned, again, that plays part in genetics there and just not doing things right. Vince, when does someone go from buzzed to drunk? It's a very thin line between buzzed to drunk, but when you're drinking and you can't speak very intelligently. I mean, right now I'm pretty buzzed there because brandy is very strong. That's why I was trying to tell Pugman, you don't really need that much in order to get buzzed. But when you're drunk, that means you're incapable of holding an appropriate conversation. See, I could still answer questions and everything, so I'm buzzed. If I was drunk, then this live stream would be over with. Boston was a very reckless person there. And he said a lot of really nasty things about me. He just didn't respect the jab, He just didn't respect it. No, Antonio. Even if Richard was eating meat there, he would still be facing the same problems, although he definitely wouldn't have as much money as he has now. Or actually, better yet, he actually would, but it wouldn't change any of his problems. His problems go beyond the vegan diet there, well beyond it. Yes, Johnny. Richard's pictures were leaked on Reddit, so I know everything that he's done and what he's put up his ass there. So, Ice Monkey, I'm not much on sweets, especially for breakfast or so forth. I will have a strudel every once in a while or so forth. I like strudels. King Dre didn't contradict himself. He told him flat. And the thing about it is that where Richard screwed up is that he tried to get on his show and debate him. And he doesn't debate. He's running a talk show. He doesn't do debates. He'll talk and he brought Richard up there to discuss things, not to debate him. And King Dre cut him off because, Vegan Games was trying to show him up there. If I was running a show like King Dre in his capacity, I would have kicked Richard off too. Johnny, I'm actually going to get a smaller TV. When it comes to TVs, I don't want it to be the main focus of a living room. I want to have some aesthetics there. I don't believe in having ginormous TVs or anything like that. In fact, I would rather just have a projector of some type there that comes down from the top. That way it doesn't show a TV at all, or one of those Samsung portrait TVs. When it comes to a living room, I want the focus to be on the couch and the settings and everything like that. I want it to be in a position of what I really do. I read a lot more than I watch TV. Although I have been watching a lot lately, but that's because I'm writing an article. I'm actually glad Richard doesn't have any kids there. I mean, they would be screwed up, literally. Richard and Jasmine do not have the capacity in order to raise an actual child. They may think animals, but, children are not the same as pets. When I was Richard's age, I was stronger than he was, but because I don't lift as heavy anymore, Richard probably is stronger than I am at this point. But again, because I've already built the muscle up there, he's never going to be my size. You see, I don't have to lift heavy anymore at this point. Be nice, Rob. Be nice. I never thought that was funny there, Ice Monkey. I thought it was kind of sad that he would actually film his grandfather having a heart attack. I mean, who would do that? Who would do something like that? Iowa and Minnesota is going to be a good game there. Usually I follow Alabama and North Carolina and the Gamecocks. I don't follow too much on that, but it'll be one of the many games that I'll watch there. Well, I definitely appreciate that, Jake. I have no problem. Just to let you know, I don't have any problems with the vegan diet. I was a vegan back in the late 90s. The only problem I have is with the general philosophy of comparing it to the Holocaust or so forth. I think that's very insulting to Jewish people. Not only that, I don't like the recent activities as far as people like Vegan Booty breaking into facilities, destroying property. Some of them, I showed a video of some vegans that were slashing tires and stuff like that. The behavior is sort of like Black Lives Matter because they're also tearing up stuff as well. I think we're in the age to where a lot of these activist groups, they're no longer finding peaceful solutions of protesting. They're not respecting people's comments or opinions, and they're just tearing things up. They're busting out windows there. They're yelling and they're fighting with people. And it all comes around there. I mean, you think about Kyle Rittenhouse there, He went and killed 2 people there, but he would have been convicted if they were peacefully marching, but they weren't. They weren't peacefully marching. They were rioting, There's a difference between a protester and a rioter, and people need to figure that out, Yeah, I guess I am like a school teacher, I hope that's a good thing. I mean, I try to have my live streams to where I hope you guys learn from me as well as have a little bit of fun, And this cigar is pretty much done, so as always, we're going to give it a little twist, and we're done. And Pugman, next week I'll get a nice cigar, and you'll be able to see that good flame. But Cuban sandwiches, you're not going to get it with that. Deedle, in 1,000 years, humans will still be around. We've been around for thousands of years already. I see no reason that we won't be around 1,000 years from now, Raw, the only person that can answer whether he's happy with his relationship is Richard, but they do seem to be arguing a lot. Now, arguing is typical with all couples. Even me and my ex used to argue. So that's why I have to say, just because you see them arguing doesn't exactly mean that they're having a pretty poor relationship. But the one indicators that I have is that he's depressed all the time. So I would actually go by that as far as having a poor relationship. But something's eating at Richard, and it's probably being in a position of where he has to do all these live streams in order to pay his bills there. Because he's doing 8-hour live streams like 5 days in a row and stuff like that. You can't operate like that. No, I would never do a 7-hour live stream. Now, one thing is for sure, I would think of it, when I worked at Verizon, you work 8 hours a day, but you would have an hour lunch break. And, you're not talking all the time neither, or answering questions. His is just a continuous slope, in other words. And doing live streams are a lot more exhausting than just answering calls at Verizon. But no, I definitely wouldn't do a 7 or 8 hour live stream. I don't see any point in that. That would and not only that there, I think it would lead to just a very boring conversation there. After, that's why I only do these once a week or so forth, because, I can answer a lot of questions in a period of 2 hours. Just imagine this times 8, Thoughts on groups of 5 young men to a machine at the gym, all of the same broccoli haircut? I would say that they would either, I guess they would say I would say that they're friends. The greatest basketball player of all time, in my opinion, would be Bill Russell. But, most people are going to say Jordan there. The greatest basketball player of all time is going to be dependent upon the era. Michael Jordan was part of my era, So I'm always going to think that Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player of all time. But if someone asked me of all time, not just my particular area, it would come down to just someone like Bill Russell. A day in the life live stream, that's a good idea. I may do that sometime. I would have to get one of those Go cameras, but I mean, I have a pretty boring. I mean, the only thing you would mostly be seeing me doing is just writing articles and running the business here. I did do a business live stream one time as far as showing you guys what I actually do during the day, so I guess that could somewhat count like that. So. Ice Monkey, have serious reservations on Richard saying that he hung another kid over a balcony. Even if he did, that's not a very nice thing to do, so. Well, it doesn't surprise me, Truth One. If you're doing an 8-hour live stream, it's going to go off the rails here. Because remember, it's not a matter of just the live streams itself there. It's just that Richard is doing it 8 hours straight. So for 8 hours straight, he's doing nothing but answering questions. You need a break between then, That's what makes it exhausting there, is that when you're trying to do 8 hours straight, That's why when you work an 8-hour job, you get two 15-minute breaks and you get an hour break, hour lunch break. That way you're able to concentrate on your work there, But the problem with doing live streams is you're doing it on a continued basis. Well, I definitely appreciate that, Serratus. I try to make sure my live streams are fun. And most importantly, it's also the reason why I only run them for 2 hours, so that way they're more interactive there. Because after 3 hours or 4 hours, it can get kind of tiring, And I don't want my live streams going minty all of a sudden. Well, if you're continuously polishing down drink after drink during a long live stream, it doesn't surprise me one bit. Raw, I don't care where Aaron P is here, Like I said, he's a dorky kid there, so. Well, Truth One, eventually Jay Masters will work up his endurance here. And then he'll be just fine. Dito, I actually started watching Yellowstone. It's a pretty interesting show. Very interesting. I've only gotten through 2 episodes because I've been watching Picard lately. But now that I finished that series, I'm actually going to start watching Sylvester Stallone's new Tulsa King on Amazon Prime. Like I said, I'm watching more TV because I'm writing an article on how to get free streaming channels and stuff like that, so I have to do a lot of research there. Ultimately, I generally don't watch a lot of TV other than the news, and then once I'm doing that, I'm either working or I'm just reading. I'm, for the most part, I'm not a real TV person. I don't spend money on cable or anything like that. I spend nothing on that. I mean, I have Paramount Plus and Peacock because I have an Amex Platinum and I get those for free. Well, Deedle, I'm more concerned about Jay's health rather than him being boring or not. No, I think it's a good trade-off there, to be honest with you. Definitely appreciate that, Raw. I've had kombucha before. It has a slight amount of alcohol in it there, but people swear by it. But I've drunken it before. I've not noticed any applicable health benefits. Serratus, I've seen just about every single Jason Genova video, and I've definitely seen Aaron and PJ's video as well. A lot they're very hilarious. Aaron should be getting out of prison in about a year and a half or so. He got his time reduced, so we'll see exactly what happens with him and Genova once they get back. It'll be quite interesting. Well, truth, Jay's trying to hold on to as much weight because he equates weight with being strong, you know. And that's why he probably got upset for. Kumbacha, La Bacha, La Ramba, you know, doesn't matter. Thing is, I don't drink it. Not only that, that stuff is kind of expensive anyway. It really doesn't matter whether your pinky's up or pinky's down when doing lateral raises. You know, I mean, whenever I do lateral raises, I keep my hands closed just to hold on to the weights itself. But whenever I'm doing bicep curls, sometimes I'll use an open hand when doing bicep curls, and that just engages more of my muscles. But it's important for people to lift the way it's comfortable. Be nice, compute man. Be nice. Hammer curls work a part of the head of the bicep there. It barely every workout indirectly works another part there. As far as hammer curls are concerned, I wouldn't consider that as an actual direct tricep workout. It works it out indirectly. But a hammer curl is a bicep workout. Raw, when it comes to lateral raises, it doesn't really matter as far as whether the pinky's up or down. Just lift the way it's comfortable. You'll get your shoulders built up. What's up, Clutch? How you doing there? There's 25 minutes left, so feel free to get your questions in. I won't be going to the Swordfish Club until next month because I don't not much money coming in, and a lot of the money that I've made isn't going to be around until next month. So this is a pretty hard month, so I've had to cut back a bunch. The month before wasn't so bad, but is that you, True Adonis? What's up, man? What's up? You know, I've been trying to, I was going to ask Ron again to see if I can get you back on there, but there's no dice there, but, you know, I always try every couple months just to let you know. But good to see that you're still up and about, brother. Well, when it comes to getting your arms, you need to be using free weights. Cables are pretty good, but if you want to get really big arms, you got to use free weights. Vince Bastille is now, he celebrated his 80th birthday, so he's still alive, Adonis. I don't know why Jay says that that's a homo movement there. Tricep kickbacks, I do those here. It's not a homo movement. I don't know why he would say that. Well, Adonis, you should use it there. I would use that. I would use that account there. I mean, everyone else is lurking over at Get Big anyway. Kaizen, Blaha didn't pull out. He was never in it. He never signed up. He did not sign up for the World's here. And even if he signed up, I already knew that he was never going to compete in it. I don't know why Jay would actually say that that would be a homosexual workout there, as far as tricep kickbacks here. If you want to do tricep kickbacks, it's perfectly fine. They're excellent for building the triceps. Hammer curls indirectly work the triceps in depth. Unless you're talking, I mean, if you're talking about this here, that's a bicep workout. You may got that mixed up with skull crushers, possibly. Squad Father is dead. He passed away about 2 years ago, I think. Or no, it may have been like a year and a half. I think COVID got him, so. Well, Johnny, it's the same reason why Prince Harry gets stepped over by Meghan Markle there. I mean, you know, he can call himself a feminist or anything like that, but Jasmine has a much more dominating personality than Richard. Deedle, I've already been married and I've already settled down. I'm not saying that that won't happen in the future, but it's very important not to push a relationship, or or anything like that. What happens here, you know. Yeah, truth. Jay does do that a bunch there, you know. It's probably because he doesn't excel at it there, or it just feels funny. You have some exercises you have to do for quite some time in order to actually get used to it. I did not follow the Charles Chan saga. Like I said, there's a lot of different personalities out there. So, even if I know that person, it doesn't mean I'm going to follow them there. There's just too many people out there to follow, to be honest with you. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, tricep rope push down is definitely a tricep workout. Blaha is actually renting a house there, and he's got all of his equipment in a garage, Adonis. But yeah, if you go back on Get Big as Confederate Horse there. I don't think anyone would mind if you used another account. That's another thing. I don't get this confuse the muscle type thing there. Just lift heavy. That's all you need to do. Lift heavy, take your body to failure, and that's all you need to do. You don't need to confuse or go through these silly weeder principles or anything like that. You know, just simple, good, heavy lifting. That's all you really need. I'll see you up there, Donis. No, I've never heard of Cyrax before. And if I've never heard of him, he can't be that big of a celebrity. Folks, you guys, you know how many, there's thousands of different YouTube creators out there, you know. There's thousands of them. You know, and there's just so many personalities, you just can't keep up with all of them. Rich Piata confused his body to the grave, actually, unfortunately. And even though he said that he knew he was going to die, that doesn't, just because you're standing in the road there, you know, that doesn't mean you should allow the bus to run you over. I mean, I miss seeing Rich Piano around there, but, you know, I mean, that's the, you know, you have to remember, we're just grains of sand in the hourglass of life there. I mean, just in the realm of life there itself, I mean, human beings have been around for thousands of years. We only take up a smidgen of that, you know. Just one little tiny grain of sand, not even that, you know. I would say the best comparison is a grain of sand in the entire Atlantic Ocean. No, Rich would still not would still be dead. The women were an accelerant there, but his general disposition, I would say, was similar to Boston Lloyd. You know, he just didn't respect the jab. He didn't respect the drugs, in other words. He didn't do things in the moderation. He kept his foot on the pedal, you know. And in a car, if you keep the foot on the pedal, eventually you're gonna crash into something, and that's exactly what happened to Rich. Raw, he kept making gains, but here's the thing: once you crash into it, once you crash into that car and pass away, I mean, he's gone. He's lost all his gains he has. That's the same issue with Vegan Gains. Richard, my cousin, that's his issue. He tries to go as heavy as he can. And once he gets hurt, he loses his gains. He has to start all over again. He builds a foundation and then he loses that foundation. You got to do things in moderation, folks. Don't try to rush to get to be the biggest person out there. It comes with time and it comes with consistency. Consistency builds muscle, and not only builds muscle, it allows you to keep it. If you continuously get hurt, then you're not going to build that foundation. So while you want to lift heavy, you still got to take it easy and build your way up. It doesn't matter what Rich Piata's autopsy is. He's dead, you know. Either way, he just died. We'll never know the toxicology reports, but it's a moot point whatsoever, you know. I mean, he's been gone for over 2 years anyway. Died from his death. Oh boy. Guess you can say it like that. I mean, overall, Rich was about that life there, but he was just reckless there, you know. He was just very reckless. I mean, anyone can go at any point in time, but you can foresee what was going to happen to Rich Piata. I mean, I think everyone for the most part could. Oh, really? 5 years? It's been a lot longer than that. Yeah, 5 years. Rich Piana's been dead for 5 years, actually. Yeah, and this actually makes it the ninth year, right around the ninth year. Derek Anthony's been dead for like 9 years. Uh, I think it'll be in December. Actually, it'll be 9 years. But like I said, the time marches on there. Just remember, folks, you're only you only have one life to live. Live it the best you can. Because at the end of the day, it could be gone at any point in time. And that's not true at all. I think it didn't peak with Rich Piana. It didn't even start with Rich Piana. It's going to have its ups and downs at some point in time. Well, that guys, and that's where genetics plays in there. Lenny has awesome genetics because with all the stuff that he's done, most people think that he would be dead by now. And Ozzy Osbourne, everything that he's done, you know, I mean, that's good genetics here. Pugman, I definitely appreciate the donation. I think everyone is concerned about dying. I'm scared of. I think it's a natural. It's natural to be scared of dying, but you can't let being scared of dying take over your life itself. There, it's something that you have to be content with. There always has to be an end to everything in life. You cannot have life if you don't have death. They are married to each other, in other words. But I think it's natural, it's human nature to preserve your life as long as possible. And I definitely want to preserve my life as long as possible. But at the end of the day, we have to face reality that that's just simply not possible there. What current fitness personality has the same charisma? Well, Serratus, that's not what I mean by that. Rich Piana had an awesome personality. Colleague Muscle had a dynamic personality and everything like that. Everyone has a different personality there. Not everyone's going to be the same. There's not going to be another Rich Piana, but there's not going to be another one of you neither, or me, or anyone else. Everyone is going to be different. Everyone's going to have their own different charisma. Everyone's going to have their own different personalities. That's a spice of life there. Everyone cannot be the same. Except the problem is that a lot of liberals, they want everyone to think alike and look alike there, and they want people to agree with things there. That's where the danger is there, really. When you go and have to blast someone for having a different opinion than you, that's where the real danger is when everyone wants you to like and agree with everyone else here. That's where the real concern would be. No, a prime Lee Priest could not beat Hadi Choopan. Hadi Choopan is a different animal. Lee Priest was great. Hadi Choopan is a whole lot better bodybuilder than Lee Priest. But Lee Priest isn't nothing to sneeze at neither. Well, there you go there. I mean, Joey Stacks is not Rich Piana, but Rich Piana isn't no Joey Stacks here. And you have to understand, different people are going to attach to different personalities. I was never attached to Rich Piana's personality, but a lot of people were. That's what made him so popular, because people could relate to Rich Piana. Yeah, I guess there won't be another Vince Goodrum, but the good thing about videos and writings is that long after I'm gone, My writings will still be around. I guess my videos will be around or so forth. That's the best anyone can actually hope for as far as legacies are concerned. Well, Johnny, like I said, most of my work is in writing and running my websites and businesses there. I think if I streamed every day, it would lose a lot of essence there as far as that's concerned. That and it would then feel like work there. And when I do the midnight run, I usually around this time I'm going to be smoking a cigar. So I always wanted to. I always want to have a great time there, you know, in other words. I don't want this to feel like work. If it starts feeling like work in doing live streams, then I'm not going to do it at all. Richard eats a lot of junk food there, but, you know, what really is concerning is the fact that he drinks a lot of soda. Well, if Rich inspires you to train, then that's good there. You know, I didn't say Rich Piana was a bad person. He has personalities that I wasn't attracted to per se, but that's that's one thing about Rich. He did inspire people to train more, you know. And of course, even after 5 years, people are talking about him. So he did at least leave a good legacy, you know. Otherwise, if he didn't, people wouldn't talk about him. You know what I'm saying? All right, folks, we got about 5 minutes left, so get your questions in for me. Well, Serratus, remember, he was being filmed and he was under the influence of drugs there, so I wouldn't take so much of his rants personal. I mean, he was under the influence, so when you're under the influence of any types of drugs, then you're going to say things that you would normally not say. I didn't find Rich Piana hot at all there. He definitely wasn't my type. Eisen, I'm actually in South Carolina. It's 30 degrees right now, so it's pretty cold. But my home is very energy efficient, so it's always going to be warm, even if I don't have the heat on. What's a typical meal for me? I eat steel cut oatmeal in the morning. I always get my day started off right. Then I'll have grilled chicken and asparagus at lunch. I'll have a couple of snacks, maybe a handful of cashews or so. For dinner, it's generally the same meal. Either that or I'll have fish and asparagus there. Just about every one of my meals usually have asparagus in it. Even my breakfasts even sometimes have asparagus. God forgives all there. He doesn't pick out certain people. I may do a live stream one day with Sean G. It just really depends. You going to sleep, Pugman? Okay. Well, again, I always thank you a bunch for supporting this channel. You've been a real big help, and I definitely appreciate you always being here for Vinny Boy here. So, I'm about probably an hour away from Dale. Yeah, you shouldn't play any type of victim role itself here. You just got to be yourself in life. There's going to be people in life that's going to always want to change or try to force you to change your position. It doesn't mean that you cannot have a different position on things in life, but don't get roped into being forced into changing whatever position or your thoughts are, you know. Always be yourself. I always steam my asparagus, but usually if I get it fresh, I'll actually air fry the asparagus, and then that way it holds in the nutrients. Tips on weight gain. Well, as far as weight gain is concerned, high calorie items like nuts, for example, you know, that's going to get your caloric intake up there more than anything. So I would include nuts with all of your meals there. If you do that, you're going to get plenty of calories in. Also drink plenty of water as well. Just salt and pepper. As far as asparagus is concerned. You know, the Teflon pan thing has gone around. I don't use Teflon pans. I use stainless steel ones because I think the danger of Teflon pans is that it flakes and it comes off the pan and into your food. But I don't use Teflon pans just for that reason. If there was a fight between Blaha or Big Lenny, I would say Big Lenny would probably beat Blaha. I think they bring chocolate to Mount Everest because it has a lot of calories in it there, and it's pretty easy to eat. Usually whenever you go camping or anything like that, or whenever I went camping, I always used to bring nuts and trail mix. Trail mix is a very high calorie food, so... Hey, Chris, about to close up the channel, so you'll have to catch me next time or whenever I do the next live stream. Believe me, I'll start doing some live streams in the middle of the week there, so that way some of you guys don't have to stay up so late. But again, folks, I want to thank everyone for tuning in to the Midnight Run. I want to thank everyone for donating and for hanging out. Pugman, Austin Murphy. Love you guys here. Yep, and you're right, Kaizen. See you, Space Cowboys. You folks have a good weekend. Make life the way you want to make life. Don't let anyone else influence you otherwise. But you folks have a good night. Take care. Peace and soul.